good vibes, happy cheeks, and of course, boom, boom, baby. Brrr. Welcome to Spill the Tea with Alicia G, and then one special guest that we interview each and every week. The question is, who's it gonna be? It's gonna be RichSteve. That's right, guys. His name is RichSteve. He's also one of my hosts. He's also a former wrestler. He is a fantastic host, and amongst many other things, also in the music industry. Yes, a gamer as well. He's fun. He's wild. So get ready to spill that tea with me, Alicia G, and the one special guest we interview each and every week, which is RichSteve. That's right, guys. Remember, guys, smash that subscribe button right here for my YouTube channel. And all social media, my Instagram, my YouTube, The Clock, Facebook, Twitter, and more, all AliciaGWorld. www.AliciaGWorld.com. Links to all social media, merchandise, music, and more. Let's dig into some tea. You ready, boys and girls? Let's do it.
I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing, my friend? What's going on?
How are you doing tonight, mister? Doing wonderful. You know what? We just balling out of control each and every day. That's how we do it up
what's
here.
up? What
Especially
you been doing? You've been good? You've been well? Everything good?
Oh, I'm doing great. So how you usually start it off is tell everyone where they can find you on social
everywhere
media.
You can find me. Right now, though, right here on BIGO, it is at RichSteve. Pretty much everything's going to be at RichSteve. Twitter's at RichSteve, and Instagram is going to be RichSteve Official. That's the only one that's going to be really different. Anywhere else, ask me, because I'm not gonna talk about people that I don't want to talk about. You know what I'm saying?
So y'all go follow him up. So RichSteve's little overview. A former professional wrestler he was. Also a stage name for a music career he was. And became streaming in 2015. So he is very, very, very familiar with live streaming over here. Senior at Penn State he was. And 10 years sober in March. What an amazing achievement that is. A round of applause. Give it up. It's a huge accomplishment there. And BIGO birthday, 11/4. That's it. And you're so welcome. So before we can dig in and start spilling some tea, tell us a little bit where you grew up. Tell us a little bit where you grew up.
I wanted to pause my notifications. They were getting annoying. Okay, so where I grew up. So I grew up in Philadelphia. I was pretty much right on the outskirts for most of my life. Pretty normal growing up, really. My family was a little bit more affluent than others just because my grandfather was a college basketball coach. He was the head coach at Villanova University when they won the national championship in 1985. So, I kind of grew up going to Las Vegas and stuff like that because that's where he coached at when I was a kid. So, I was always going around to, different parties and different, places, meeting athletes and stuff since I was a kid. But the thing that was cool was my grandpa was super, super humble because he came from absolutely nothing. His dad was a shoemaker, right off the boat from Italy. So he never let any of that get to his head. And I always saw from a little age how he treated people and how he treated people who wanted his autograph and stuff like that. And I tried to make that the way that I would always live my life, whether I got famous or not. I just wanted to be just like him and take that humble attitude and approach to life.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Oh my goodness, that's so sweet. Now, wait, that's bad. You said Vegas. I take it, a little party boy in Vegas. Little party boy. Spill that tea,
I loved it, man. That was the one thing cool. I actually remember. This is the weirdest thing that I remember. I was probably 5 years old. I remember getting lost in Las Vegas. I got lost at Excalibur at the casino.
Oh my god! Where's Richie? Richie! Where's Cabin? Richie! Oh my goodness!
No, nothing like that. I mean, the real party for me with Vegas wasn't until actually a couple years ago, because the way that they do their greens out there, because you know me, I do work for medical marijuana. I've been involved in that industry for a very long time. Yeah, we'll get to that. Going out there for the first time
Oh, we're
once
gonna
they
get to
had
that too. We're gonna
recreational
spill
and
that
getting
tea,
to
y'all. We're gonna
see
spill that
like
tea.
some of the dispensaries out there, which is like the world's largest I've ever been to out there for Planet 13. It's insane. It's very, very cool. That was more of a party than anything.
Oh my goodness. Guys, you're following,
Nice.
liking, sharing, tapping that
Hell
screen. We have
yeah.
over
What's up,
1,800
guys?
viewers right now. That is an all-time high. Keep tapping, following, sharing. We're spilling the tea
Yes.
here with my amazing friend and host, RichSteve. Oh my goodness. What?
There
Well,
are
let's
none.
dive into it.
No.
What
You
questions
can
do
ask
you
me
not want me
anything.
to ask
That's what I
today?
do. That's
Are
what
you
how we
scared I'm
live
gonna
on my
ask it?
stream. We always ask the questions. That's what we do.
Okay. We got a wild one, y'all. Security. All right. Here we go. Here we go. All right. All right. Oh, we just hit 2,000 views. Y'all, we just hit 2,000 views. Be sure you're following, liking, sharing, tapping on that screen, y'all. We're turning up. We're turning up here on Spill the Tea. Well, we're going to just dive right into it. Is this one of your most, like, before you worked at the
Everything,
dispensary,
man. Let's
what were
see.
some of your other jobs?
So I've sold vacuum cleaners. I was a barista.
All right, buddy. Okay.
I've worked for Villanova basketball as a like working for their training camps, their summer camps. I worked at an ice cream place. I worked as a waiter. I worked for a social media for a while down in Washington D.C. I was like writing congressional letters for some think tank down there. Um,
Oh.
Dude, you think of it, and I've probably done it. I used to work for a chicken wing place. I used to own my own hot sauce company. Um, I can go on. Thank you, Ricky.
Oh my God.
I
What has been the
mean,
most
if it's fun, does
fun
it really
job?
work?
The most fun
That's the
job?
question. If it's fun, does it work? But I think it's got to be the
Dispensary?
dispensary. It has to be. But it
It's
would be
not. It's not.
the first
It's not.
iteration of working at a dispensary because it's changed a lot. The industry just from 2018 when I first got into it to now, it's completely different. It was completely mom and pop, small business. Like it was great when I first started. It was me, the CFO, the number two, and the CEO all in a basement. Now, this is before they became multimillionaires. We're in a basement, and it was at the point where like you could just smoke a joint at your desk. Like they didn't even care. You could just smoke a bowl. You could smoke a joint. On Fridays, they would go and get you dinner. They would get you lunch, whatever you needed. And like slowly, that stuff got taken away, taken away, taken away. But for a while there, it was like, yo, this is the best. I ran my own department. I was smoking a joint at work. Like, dude, that's the life. It was amazing.
I love it. I love it. So tell us about a
You want a
crazy
crazy story?
story
I
working
got something. I
at
got.
a
Listen,
dispensary. Like
listen,
maybe
listen.
craziest
You don't need to hear a
patient, not
patient story. I
patient.
can tell you about the
Oh, spill
dispensary
the tea.
itself.
Spill that tea,
And
y'all. Spill that
all
tea.
right, this is like something out of like a TV show. This is like some fucking Suits Mad Men bullshit I'm about to tell you. So I was in charge for a data entry and compliance
Spill
department.
it. Spill that tea,
So
y'all.
my job was to make sure that everything was getting entered in and sent to the state because there's a seed to sale system so they can track everything from beginning to end and to make sure that everything was up to snuff on regulations. Now here's the thing. Our stores, we had three stores. They were the three most voluminous and the most highest grossing stores in the entire state of Pennsylvania. But there was a reason why. You see, Pennsylvania uses a system called MJ Freeway. This is the only system that you can use in the entire state to track seed to sale. But it has a problem. It shuts down. When it shuts down, the entire state of Pennsylvania has to shut down. So our CEO came up with an idea. What if we bought another system and we used it on a separate computer that I was running? And then if the rest of the state shut down, we still were open because we had another system. So that's what we did. It just leveled out. We were one day behind, so it seemed like it was always live orders. So I started doing it. I started entering
Backup.
these sales. Eventually, it got to the point where I needed 10 people under me so we could keep up with all the sales because we were so far ahead of the rest of the state. So all of a sudden, one day I'm sitting there, I'm training these new people. I'm at the dispensary, and in comes the CEO with all of her little minions, and she's wasted with like a glass of wine in her hand at 9 a.m. And I'm like, oh no, that's not good. Like, not at 9 a.m., it's not good. Something's going on. Apparently, somebody had told the feds that we were doing this. And then somebody told us that this happened and that there was going to be a raid at 9 a.m. the next day. So what we had to do was spend 24 hours in the vault changing over the barcodes on every single piece of product we had, because the barcodes that we had would go up with our system that was illegal, not the correct system. So I spent from 7 a.m. until about 10 a.m. the next day in a vault in a dispensary, changing it over just so we didn't get shut down and arrested.
Oh, he's in the vault. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate the love. Oh my god. He was in the vault,
Insane.
y'all. He spilled
It was
that tea in
absolutely
the vault.
insane.
Oh my god.
Much love.
Thank you. Thank you. Everyone should love. Thank you. Thank you. If you're following, like, you should happen on screen. We got over
Hell yeah.
2,300 viewers, guys. It's an all-time high, y'all. It's an all-time high. We're supposed to be here on BIGO Live. Woo! And
Thank you
following.
guys. How long
Appreciate
does
those
this
follows
happen?
and
So
love and
that was
support. Those
in
tabs. We appreciate each and everything here.
2019, I want to say. It was right before COVID. It was like right before COVID that all of that happened. So it was like right the beginning of 2019, I want to say. And now the company is no longer, it's no longer. Our CEO, actually, she just passed away. Well, they've got bought out. No. She was a
No longer.
boss. Let me
I
tell you
wonder
this,
why.
man. Yes, exactly. Krabby Patty bought. She was a boss. She sold that company for like $100-something million, and then just fucked off to West Virginia and did it all again down there. She made bank, but unfortunately, the company that bought us out then just cleaned house, got rid of everybody who ever worked for her, and now they're their own little shitty company. They're not the same. Walmart weed, baby, doesn't work.
Oh my god. Oh, aren't we? Oh my god. Oh yeah. So we heard about that side of dispensary. What about some crazy, wild customers? Any
Yeah,
customer
actually,
stories are just like, oh my god.
it's not even the customers
Cops called,
themselves.
anything like that?
The cops themselves were actually really, really bad, which is crazy. They would actually post up outside of our dispensary, and they would try to get people. Like, if you didn't put your product in your glove box or in your trunk, they could get you for having possession, like for being intent to DUI type shit. So, like, the way that it works in PA is if you get pulled over and they take your blood, whether you smoked or not smoked, that's a DUID. If it's in your system any level over 0.00, it's a DUID. So they would wait for people to come out of the dispensary, especially at the end of the month for quotas. They pull people over, bring them to the hospital down the street, draw their blood, and then boom, DUID. It was insane. Absolutely insane.
I had no idea. Y'all were spilling some tea and learning things at the same time. Oh my goodness, y'all. Spilling tea and learning things. It's wild. Oh my god.
Yeah, something like that.
I take it you're 420 friendly, I take it.
I'm not
Do
a
you
big
smoke,
smoker, honestly. I prefer
you smoke, like,
tinctures, and I prefer
3.7,
Rick Simpson
3.5?
oil. So I like the drops that I put under my tongue because it's a little bit of a quicker method as far as like the concentration of it. So you spend a little bit more money, but you get so much more for your buck. And then Rick Simpson oil. Rick Simpson was a man who had cancer, and he developed a protocol that he would use an oil that was extracted using a certain method that is really, really good for deep pain, for pain after chemotherapy, things like that. It's been shown to actually reduce a lot of growth of cancer cells. I love it. I love it a lot. You could put it on like a piece of chocolate or something like that and just eat it really quick. It is discrimination. It was absolutely horrible. Luckily, what did end up happening was when we moved our corporate office from right next to the one dispensary to down the road at a like corporate campus, the police just followed us. They left the patients alone. They started just waiting for us outside. So,
Oh my goodness. That is wild. Oh my goodness. Are you high right now?
I haven't even smoked in like or Rick Simpson oil or anything in like over a week. I think right now. Well, I got what's it called? I got laid off last week.
Dang, you
So
feeling
I just haven't. I haven't had the money since I got laid off, unfortunately. How long does the effects last? So it depends. The RSO oil, if you should only take about the size of a grain of rice. That should last you about 4 to 6 hours. The tincture, if you do 1 to 2 drops, it should be around the same. If you do 3 or 4, it should be around 10 to 12 hours. Oh yeah, absolutely. Not giving them a hard time. It's just that part was just it's crazy to me. That's all. Next.
Oh my goodness. Well, I honestly, I'm not against marijuana. Hey, if you want to do it, do it. I just don't partake in it. I,
I
but if you
think
do it
I
enough
think
away and
the
have some
key
for
is
me,
like
that's
I'm
how I
all
feel
in favor of
for
recreational and stuff. Like
me.
if you want to get high, you can get high. Ours are strong though, yes. But I really am a huge advocate for the medicinal benefits of it. Um, One of the things that I did do when I was working there was I would go on speaking engagements and I would talk about the use of cannabis for like getting through opiate addiction. Because right now a lot of like opiate addicts when they're going through their withdrawals and stuff like that, they're given Suboxone, they're given Subutex, stuff like that, which is just a milder opiate. So it's kind of changing one for the other, and like that's another withdrawal within a withdrawal, which I think is kind of crazy. So I started showing the connection that you could use these similar things strength wise, like the ricin oil, and you could get the same benefit. So I had the University of Pennsylvania and a couple of doctors that actually were studying what I was showing them and studying the findings that I was having to try to put it into practice to replace, these opiate based medications with marijuana. And eventually Pennsylvania did allow it for opiate use disorder. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's incredible. That's awesome. Oh, we are spilling some tea and learning things as we go. Guys, if you haven't smashed that subscribe button, be sure you're following, liking, sharing, tapping the screen, and follow if you haven't already. I hope you're enjoying the spill of tea here with the one, the only, RichSteve. So we talked a lot about marijuana and
Yes.
everything. Can you
Yeah,
tell us
so
about
I've been a wrestling fan
wrestling?
my whole life. I
Spill
love
the
it.
tea.
It's
Spill
the
the
best. I
tea.
don't care what anybody says. I don't care if you say it's fake because it's not fake. It's predetermined. There's a big difference. Are you going to say the movie that you just watched is fake? I think not. You're going to say that it was just. You're not going to say anything. You're going to say you liked it because that's what you're going to do when you're with me. You're going to like it. Anyway, so RichSteve came to be in about 2006, 2007, I want to say. I was 16 years old. Scripted, though, disagree, Corey. Do you want to know why? Because not everybody scripts their matches. There's going to be two different mindsets here. Number one is going to be the old school mindset. That's my mindset. That mindset is I have a finish and I have maybe one or two spots in my mind, but the rest of it I'm calling on the fly for one reason and one reason only, because I read the crowd. If the crowd's not into what I'm doing, I'm glad you say you agree. If the crowd's not into what I'm doing and I scripted the entire match, I'm fucked because I can't change on the fly. I'm not able to think that way. But if you're like me and you've learned the old school method, you can then see they're booing here, they're cheering here. Change what you're doing, go with the flow, and it's all ad lib. It's not scripted, it's predetermined. Anyway, back to what I was saying. 2006, I was in high school. I was 16 years old. And
Okay, I like
there,
that.
there was some pro
I
wrestlers
like
who came
that.
to my
I love
school allegedly. And like I had gone to a mock trial competition. I come back and everybody's like, dude, there was wrestlers here. They were looking for people to come become wrestlers. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? But no, it was true. Some dudes had said like, listen, you should come to my high school, try to recruit from the football players. And that's what they did. They tried to recruit people to come to their training academy. I went, of like six people that went, I was the only one who got picked, and I started training at 16. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
The training or the wrestling?
And how
In
long
general.
did you do that for?
So training, in the state of
A
Pennsylvania,
little bit
you're
of both.
not allowed
In
to.
general, the whole
Yeah,
thing.
baby, you can't do it until you're 18. It smells lovely though. Thank you for asking. You can't do it until you're 18. So I had to train for about a year and a half, almost 2 years, before I was even able to step foot in a ring. So that was all just conditioning and cardio and stuff like that. Then from that, dude, I didn't always look like this. I was like a football player and a lacrosse player and shit at one point. But then I was able to do that shit. So then I started that 16, 18. I had my first match and I continued it all the way up until about a year ago. So yeah, and I only stopped because I hurt my knee. So that's that. But I'm coming back. I am coming back in a couple months.
And
Yep.
coming back better than ever. I love that. Now
Yes. So this
WWE
was wild.
tryout?
So Corey, to answer your question,
Spill the
I
tea,
can't
y'all.
even name
Spill
them
the
all
tea.
mainly I'm based out of Philadelphia. So like Philadelphia area, Delaware, Maryland, New Jersey. So like H2O, GCW, ACPW, 302. Those were kind of like my stomping grounds. But I've gone as far south as Florida, as far west as like I want to say Kentucky. I don't know, Kentucky or Illinois. Like one of those. No, Indiana. As far north as New York. I haven't gone any higher than that. So yeah, WWE. So WWE tryout was really crazy. Actually, they called me up on a Thursday, I want to say, and asked if I could get down to Tampa Bay by Saturday. Um, I was in Philadelphia. I had no money, and I had to figure out a way to get down there in like 2 days. So me and my tag team partner got into the car and just started driving, and figured it out as we went along. Um, it was really really cool. It was a great experience. I got lucky. One of the
I
people that
love it.
trained me, his name's Brian Hardy. His dad actually wrestled for like whenever they would come to Baltimore or like that area. He was like one of the local guys who'd always wrestle for them. So he had connections because of that and put in a good word for us. So I got to go to the show like before the show, had my tryout match. It was cool. Obviously, I didn't get signed, but it was nice because I got to like if there are wrestling fans out there, they'll know the name like William Regal. William Regal was who watched my match, and he got to critique me afterwards. I got to meet John Cena. It was pretty cool. I got really good advice, which was cool, because I knew that I probably wasn't gonna get signed. It was more like because my friend hooked it up, but like just getting the experience of what it's like to actually be like on that level, like the type of professionalism that you need. That was something that I actually carried with me and like kept doing as I
Yeah,
went on,
that
because the way that they did things was just so much different than any independent organization that it needed to be. It needed to be. It needs to be carried with you, man. You can't blow that.
now was your wrestling name RichSteve or was it
Yeah,
Rich
exactly. Got my name
Steve
out there. Exactly.
coming to the
So
stage?
Rich Steve,
Rich
the
Steve,
origin
like
of Rich Steve.
do that.
So at my training academy, there was two Steves. There was me, and there was the other Steve.
Yeah, how did that come
Other
about?
Steve lived in the middle of the city, like really, really bad neighborhood. I lived in the suburbs. So one time, somebody was like talking about Steve, and they said, "Which Steve? Rich Steve or poor Steve?" Boom, there's Rich Steve. So it was never going to be my name. This was never going to be my gimmick. The whole spoiled rich kid shit was never going to be it. But they needed to fill in on their TV show. And they just said, Steve, you're going to go do this. You're going to be a host. You're going to start out like, just call yourself Rich Steve, because that's what we call you around the gym. Nobody's going to remember you in 2 years when you're 18. So you can just change your name then. Do you think people ever forget me when I open my mouth? No, of course not. So everybody remembered Rich Steve. And now, for years, I have been Rich Steve.
No.
It's stuck. It is what it is. But I embrace it. I love Rich Steve now.
I love it. I love it. So tell us about one of like your wildest or craziest or tell us
Oh
about
my God.
craziest matches you ever encountered.
Okay,
I
I think
spill that tea.
hmm,
Spill that tea.
that's a really tough one. I think probably the wildest match I ever was in. Dude, trust me. I I should show you those pictures later. I'll send them to you. Big Poonie, I'm following you. I'm gonna send you something. You're gonna enjoy this. Remind me. Um, okay, wildest match I think would probably be the Riot City Rules match or a casket match that I did. One or the other. Riot City Rules match is basically just a hardcore match. It's like anything goes, weapons, all that stuff. But the venue that it was at was really, really cool. Thank you, Soros. The venue it was at was the Delaware Agricultural Museum. So it was literally a museum full of like old farming equipment, and like there was a giant plane that like swooped down and stuff. It was insane looking. So we're in the middle of this fucking pasture field. Good morning, Kang. In the middle of this pasture, surrounded by old farm equipment, and you have my friend climbing up a 20-foot ladder, jumping off of it onto somebody through 3 tables that we stacked up. It was just like insane. What are we doing? And how much are we actually getting paid for this? It was not more than $20. I will let you know. So that was number one. Number two would probably be the casket match, just because that was cool. Because I always liked the Undertaker when I was a kid. So like getting to actually see like somebody took the time to build us a casket and to hollow it out the right way. It looked so good, and getting to do that was pretty fun. So that's for what I've been in. As far as watched, I've been to several and been in one deathmatch tournament. So I've seen a lot of blood, and I've seen a lot of broken glass. I've seen a lot of lemons. Put those three together, and you can figure it out.
Oh my god. Spill the tea here with RichSteve. Spill that tea, y'all. Oh my goodness.
It is. It is.
So
GCW.
that really is
People,
the craziest
sorry,
one.
what was
What
that?
about best one?
That's
Yeah.
my first title match.
What about the
First time I
best
ever won a
match?
title.
You like one that's just like
100%.
wow, like you're like
It wasn't the best as far as like the way that I worked or anything like that, but it meant the most to me. And the way that it worked was really crazy. So
right.
I built this whole story up over about 6 or 7 months with this team, and the whole idea was I was originally, when I first came into this promotion, a manager, and I went from a manager who bought his way into becoming a wrestler. That was the whole story of my character. So these two guys, their names were Johnny X and Ray Rumble. They were called Bruh. They were my protege tag team. I had a stable of 5 guys with me and 4 of them, and they were the tag teams. So they were tag team champs. And then all of a sudden, I turned on them one day. I cast them out. They became good guys. I was the bad guy. And this set up this whole rivalry with me and Bruh. So Johnny X gets hurt, okay? Hurt. Johnny X gets hurt, and having a big tag team tournament. RichSteve, in a random blind drawing, boom, is teaming with Ray Rumble. Listen, all I want is to help you. It's okay. I know what I did in the past was wrong, but I'm better. I'm a good guy now. I'm a good guy. You see this? I have a contract that says I can win the world title anytime I want, any match at any time. You don't have to worry about me because I'm focused on the championship at hand. We go, we lose our match, we hug it out, everybody starts chanting, bruh, they're cheering me for the first time, and then all of a sudden I turn around and I smile. I pick dude up, I slam him down, cash in the contract, 1, 2, 3, the first ever, and to this day only, double champion. I was the solo tag team champion. I was 2 times better than everybody else. But it was fun. I am.
Get
Hi, cool.
Get up here, RichSteve.
But that was so cool. It was so cool because, like, I'm a bad guy. I'm a heel to the very fucking end. But I loved that adulation that I got, which was in the form of booze. But that was them appreciating this work that I had crafted for 8 months because they bought it, hook, line, and sinker. They thought I was becoming a good guy, and then that sound when I finally did it, and when they realized what I was doing, chef's kiss, baby.
I love it. So how about spill the tea? How were some of the other wrestlers like behind the scenes?
Wrestling is a
like,
very
tell us, spill that tea, Rich. Spill that tea.
It's a tough industry. It's very tough. All of us are pretty much like theater kids who didn't grow up and who like kind of stopped aging at like 16 or 17. So we have this like mentality because even though we're grown men in our underwear that are like rolling around in tights pretending to fight each other, people get really upset when they have to lose. And that's like a thing. Like there will be people who will straight up refuse. Like they will refuse to lose to somebody because it's going to make them look bad 3 states over. It's just like, it's very petty. It's very like, very insider, you know? But then there's a lot of drug use. There's a lot of steroids. Not as much with the steroids now as it was when I started. Back in like 2007, 2008, it was way much more. People were always shooting up. But now it's not as bad with that. People have gotten a lot better. But there's still like the painkiller use, the somas and stuff like that. Like it's a thing because you gotta understand, like, if you're doing this the right way, I'm not talking about the weekend warriors. I'm not talking about the people who do it like once because they want to be a wrestler. I'm talking about the people who are actually doing it like I was, where we were going, Friday through Sunday, 3-4 shows the entire weekend, 1 on Friday, 2 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday, and then going back home the next day, going to work for the week, and then doing it all again. Like when you're doing it like that, like there was one shot that I used to do. I would go from Philadelphia. I'd go down to Baltimore to pick up my partner. Go from Baltimore over to another part of Maryland to pick up some other kids. Go from there all the way to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, back, boom, boom. I would leave at like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, and I would be the main event match usually. So I wouldn't be leaving the show in Pittsburgh until like 12, 1 o'clock after I get showered and changed and everything. I wouldn't get home until 7, 8 the next day. And this is like 22 hours that you're on the road continuously, except for when you're there just wrestling. So it's a lot. It gets to you. It gets really lonely. It gets really tired. And like, that's why people get hurt. That's why people turn to the things that they turn to. Because it's not all Vince McMahon and private jets, and even they don't get that. Like, they don't, unless you're Brock Lesnar or like Triple H, you don't get that. You're still getting a flight that you have to pay for, and then they're going to pay for your hotel when you get there. But that's about it. You're still driving. Even the WWE guys, they don't go on a bus with everybody. No, they drive town to town. This is what we do. And some nights you're going to be somewhere like Berkeley Springs, West Virginia, where you're going to be wrestling in front of 10 people if you're lucky, in a cattle pasture. And you might get $15. You might get gas money, and that's might. You might. If you sell a t-shirt, you might get some money. But then the very next week, you're back in Philadelphia, you're at the old ECW arena in front of 2,000 people, you're getting $200 and a hotel paid for you. Like, every week was different. Like, I can distinctly remember the first time that I actually had like a hotel, my transportation, and everything paid for me. And it was like, I felt like I made it. Like, 'cause this is the first time I didn't have any expenses. Like, everything was paid for and I got paid. It was so cool. But then the very next week, guess where I was? Back in fucking Berkeley Springs for 2 people that time. And one of the people in the front row got glass in their eye and they had to cancel the show early. But this is wrestling. We love it, or we wouldn't do it.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Right. Oh my goodness. What was your outfit like? Like what was your outfit like?
My outfit.
Spill the tea. What was your outfit like?
I had 2 singlets. I've met John Cena. I don't know John Cena, but I've met John Cena. Very nice guy. Very nice. I had 2 outfits I wore. 3 really, because I had my casual too. So one would be just a straight up suit. I had to wear my suit because I'm RichSteve. I wouldn't be wearing some jackass shit. So one thing that I did not do, I would never go out to my table to sign autographs during intermission. Do you know why? Because why would I want to be with these people? They hate me. I hate that. So many people that are bad guys, they go out and they sign during intermission because they want to get their money. But no. You get a pretty girl to sell your stuff for you, and you stay in the back because there's no reason that you would mingle with them. And if somebody does see you and you sign it, I would always write the same thing. I was paid to do this. Boom. Not even RichSteve. I was paid to do this. Boom. I have a picture. I'll post it later. I had a kid who actually had the balls to make a sign for me one time. Like, held up the sign, RichSteve. Do you know what I did? Do you know what I did? During my entrance, I went up to it, I grabbed it, I ripped it in half and threw it back into space. Who cares? Why would he cheer me on? I'm a dick. And he shouldn't be cheering me on. His parents should have raised him better. So, yeah. But that's why I got booked. And that's why I got main events, because I did this stuff. That's the way that you're supposed to do it. It's all a game, baby. It's all a game. It's all just like here. Everything here is wrestling. It's all the same. So what we do with my outfit, number 1, the suit, okay? I know it's bad. Number 1 was the suit. Number 2, I had a white singlet with black on the bottom. RichSteve across the chest, and then I had some kanji, like some Japanese symbols on my leg that, when put together, it said Future Star, because I was calling myself the future of pro wrestling at the time. Then another pair I had were just tights. They had gold dollar signs on the legs, and then on the butt, I had them take my signature and like put my signature in diamonds on my butt. It said RichSteve on my butt. And then I had another singlet that was just straight up, like just a black singlet. And then over top of that, I would wear one of my RichSteve shirts. And my boots were always nice, though. I had white boots that were made down in North Carolina, and they would be patent leather, white with the RS on the side, and then inside it would have a little bit of yellow polka dots for the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. He was my favorite wrestler. He passed away, so I got in polka dots WWDD, what would Dusty do, inside my boots. So nobody can ever see that, but I know it's there. And then I have another pair that I got made in Japan that are black and orange. And then I have a pair made in Mexico. They're also black and orange, but those ones zip up on the side instead of a regular tie. They're pretty cool.
Now, now these outfits are custom made. You said, is there basically a person that you go to,
it's all
like
who you want to go to.
the costume maker who
There
makes
are
these,
so many
or
people, just even wrestlers themselves, who they could be seamstresses. They do it themselves. So many are DIY. In fact, you would always if you need a sewing kit, man, go to a wrestling show because there's going to be at least 2 in the back. But I have one person that I use. Her name's Angel. She's a sweetheart. She's down in North Carolina, and then her husband was a wrestler back in the day. He was very, very big back in the day in that area, but most people would know, but he was awesome, and I use her because she's like 80 years old, but she makes shit so good.
right? I love it. I love it. Okay, so we went over how the people are, how the best match, worst matches, all that stuff. Tell us about the partying.
Wrestling parties are very, very interesting because you have such a diverse and eclectic mix of people. Because like I said, we're all theater kids who are stunted in our growth, and we're all just nerds because we grew up watching wrestling. We loved wrestling. We really loved wrestling. So you got people who are like completely like socially awkward, sitting in the corner like drinking a Coke because they don't want to drink a beer. But then you got the dude over who was a jock in high school, who's still a jock now, who's on steroids, who's pounding some Red Bull and some fucking Jaeger. And then he's doing it with me because I'm a social butterfly and I'm around to every group to go see what everybody's doing. And then you got the old school guys who are like old, and that don't know why they're still wrestling, but they're here and they're just drinking beer and getting fucking loud. Like, it's all just such a weird mix of people. And then you have the people who are out in the parking lot just doing drugs. And so it's all just it's a mix. You know, you think about like your cast parties after high school or whatever for theater, like it was like that times a million, dude. Like people are just wild. I've slept in my car so many times that I don't even know how I got to my car, but I was there every morning and my keys were still there, so at least I made it through. One time I remember I somehow woke up in my car in Berkeley Springs, West Virginia, that little town, and I woke up to the owner of the company banging on my window. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why are you getting me up? It's like 7 a.m. Apparently, the night before, they give away like a raffle where the winner was going to get to have breakfast with RichSteve. Why didn't they tell RichSteve this? So I had to go eat with this little brat at fucking 8 a.m. at some diner in shithole West Virginia, pretending like I wasn't hungover and pretending like I liked him. That kid actually, this is actually really crazy. That kid actually is a wrestler now. He's actually a wrestler now, and he actually came to a GCW show in Atlantic City probably like a year or 2 ago, and he was in the crowd and he came up to me and he was like, "Yo, do you know who I am?" "Nah, who the fuck are you?" He's like, "I'm Hunter. I was the kid that you went to breakfast with, and like I'm training now. I'm a wrestler." That was cool. That was really cool. It was so cool because he
oh my goodness,
he was like, yeah, like, you inspire me, blah, blah. I didn't inspire him. He was going to do it anyway, but it was really cool. I don't know how I really feel. I wish I was high. Next. He's a good kid, man. He's a good kid.
God. Oh my god. That's awesome. Wow. What about
ring rats?
You know, I guess they have like groupies and
yep,
stuff.
Ring rats.
You know, do they have like female groupies?
I don't know anything about no ring rats. Never heard of her. Who's that? No, honestly, I that was never my thing. I just didn't think it was like really that cool because like I don't know, dude. Like you don't want to, if you don't like me for me, if you like me for RichSteve, that means you have some serious mental problems, first of all, because RichSteve's such a dick. So like if that's your thing, like I question you. And then if you're just like that, like do your thing, like that's cool, good for you, but like just stay away. Like I chilled more with like like my group of friends were like all married, and then there was me, but like they were all married, and like we just kind of chilled and did our thing. But good for you if you like the rats. That's your thing. Go for it. I can give some numbers. They exist.
Any
I plead the
twosomes,
fifth.
threesomes, interviews, and all the above.
I plead the fifth.
Oh, okay,
No,
here we go. So let's see.
that was not my thing. This was my thing. Yes, yes to the answer to your question,
Okay.
but I plead the fifth. Yep. Yep.
Okay. You don't need names, just details. Just details. Yes, speaking of that, we're gonna brush on that lightly. Tell me your craziest, wildest.
See, now this is a
date.
weird question because I don't think I've ever really like done dates since I was in like middle school. Like I just kind of had things like just things that happened. It was prom, like maybe
High
I don't know. I didn't really
Prom?
do dates. Like I had a girlfriend. I had a girlfriend for a long time. That's the thing. Listen, I had the
See,
same girl from freshman year of high school until my sophomore year of college. We were together for a long time. Then after her, I was just kind of like doing my thing, but like I was always just like one night stand type thing. And then from there, I moved out to Arizona for a girl. I was with her for like a year, and then ever since then, it hasn't really been dates. I guess like I don't know. It's just like you're gonna come to a show with me, or I'm gonna take you to a concert, but it's not really a date, and we're not gonna do anything crazy unless we get back to the room. That's gonna be when it gets crazy. You know what I'm saying? But we didn't do anything weird. I didn't have any bad experiences. These nuts are all up in your knots. Jocelyn, baby. What up, love me? Next.
What about the craziest one night stand? Spill the tea. No names needed.
There was this girl.
Where we spill that
She was my
tea.
friend's cousin.
To make the cup bubble.
She was my friend's cousin. I kind of feel bad about this now, but like this girl, literally, we broke my bathroom door because like it was like some wild, like rough shit. Where like it started on the fucking toilet, like sitting down on the toilet, and like we thought we were gonna break the fucking toilet, so we like started pushing up against the wall, but then like the fucking wall started moving and shit, like the door, and it was bad. It was very bad, but it was good. It was great. I think I might have some scars still from it, but it was fun. It was a good time. But that was homie's cousin, and that I felt bad about that afterwards. Sorry, Eric. What's up, Poppy?
We heard nothing. We're just spelling here. You don't mention names. Spill that tea.
You know what though? No, hold up. Let me say something. In defense of myself with Eric, dude can't say anything because it wasn't that much long after that he took a threesome from me. Like we were doing a threesome with this chick, and then you know what happened? We're in the middle of it. Yeah, Eric with the K. So we're in the middle of the threesome. Guess what dude does? Dude takes her, and she's like, "Yo, I want to go do some shit with Eric." And I'm like, "You know what? Proceed," because my homie was a virgin at the time, and I was getting his cherry popped in a threesome. So if he wanted to go with her for a little bit, take it. That's fine. I'm just gonna come back for round 2, and we'll be good. So you're welcome, Eric. That's why I fucked your cousin.
With the Eric with the K. Eric with the K.
Y'all are spilling tea up in here, baby. Let's go.
Getting hot up in here. Spill the tea here. RichSteve and Alicia G. That's how we do it.
I think you ask anything, so it's okay.
Oh my goodness. What about He did. What about, I know they love you.
And then you have my people who are just like, "What is Steve talking about? This isn't enlightened." Love it. Oh, thank you, Poppy.
A whole new world up in here. A whole new world. Any wild maybe fetishes or anything?
I don't know. Like, what do you consider a fetish? Like, one person's fetish is another person's like crime. Like,
that's not you.
I like rough. I like that shit. I'm into that, but I don't like anything like really crazy. No, like. Yeah, like that maybe, but like I don't want you to call me daddy and shit like that. Like I think that's weird. Don't call me daddy. Like I don't like that. I think it's weird. I'll give you a story. You ready for this? Okay. So this is when I was in Arizona with that girl, right? What's up, Maui? So I'm in Arizona with the girl, and she like had this whole thing planned where like she was gonna dress up like in like a Flyers jersey. Like it was this weird thing where she was gonna like try to look like a Philly girl. which I don't know what the fuck a Philly girl looks like, but she tried. She tried really hard. And so she was wearing just like these fishnets, and she was wearing this Danny Briere jersey, you know, like really like tight fitting. She looked great, fantastic. So we go into the room, we start doing it, and all of a sudden I hear, "Oh yeah, Danny." And I'm like, "Fuck off me! What the fuck? Who's Danny?" It's like, "Danny Briere? Like, you think I'm Danny Briere?" And she's like, "I said Daddy." "Oh shit, you called me Daddy. I thought you were calling me the name of the dude on the back of your jersey." I didn't get it the rest of that day.
Oh my God. Don't call him daddy, y'all. Girls don't call him daddy. You know daddy.
That's a
Ain't
true
your
story
daddy.
too. I felt bad. I felt dumb is what I felt.
All right. What about the wildest place you ever had a little
The
fun?
Gathering of the Juggalos. The Gathering of the Juggalos. ICP, Insane
Public.
Clown Posse, Gathering of the Juggalos. That's it. Do you know what a Juggalo is? All right, so Juggalos, for those who are
No,
uninitiated,
but
are fans
you're
of
gonna
Insane
spill the
Clown
tea and tell
Posse.
us.
They are the most grody, grimy people in the world. They're great people because I love them. I am one of them. They buy all my merchandise. They're very nice people. But they do things like paint up in clown makeup and throw Faygo on themselves and not wash their ass for 3 weeks and do meth. Like, this is the things that Juggalos do. It's just something that Juggalos do. It's okay. It's okay. But I went to their festival one time, 2 times actually, because I played once. And I met a fine young female. And it was day one. Today I die, I would say it was day one. It was not day 3. So she was cleanish. But, dude, in the middle of a field in Southwest Illinois, surrounded by a bunch of motherfuckers in clown makeup, like, that was probably the number one wildest, I would have to say. But she was cool. She didn't smell that bad. I'm mean. I shouldn't say these
Broke
things.
the cup, y'all. Broke the cup. Woo! Broke the cup,
What is
y'all.
this?
Woo! Oh my goodness. Woo! This is an
We getting
amazing
people to watch at
interview.
least?
Oh
Are
my
people
goodness.
here?
Wow.
That's tough.
Yeah, we're 2,400 people, so we're doing something right tonight, y'all. Woo! Highest viewership of all time. Thank you, RichSteve. That was a few more. You seem very
At one point,
promiscuous
yeah.
there, Richie. How about you've done so much from everything. You've done it all, Rich. You've done it all. What about
Wait, say that again? What was that?
future, maybe adult film star in the near future? You know,
No, absolutely not.
Any plans for the adult
that's not for me.
film
That's
industry?
not for me.
You know,
We
don't judge.
I don't know. That's just not. Nah, I'm cool. If it happened, it happened. But I'm not a porn star, baby. I'm just me. I'm RichSteve. That's all I am. I'll make you feel like a porn star, but I ain't gonna be in no movies. You know what I'm saying?
I love it. What would your
It's gotta be
adult
RichSteve. You
film
gotta keep
star
the
name
brand.
be if you could
Keep
pick
the
one?
brand.
Or is it gonna be RichSteve?
Brand.
Gotta keep your brand. Y'all keep that brand. RichSteve comes to the big screen soon. You just never know, boys and girls. You never know. Oh my goodness. I know also we're toning down for a minute here.
Yes.
Don't mind spice it up. You never know.
So
but
I started.
you also
I started making music when I was in like middle school. Like I started writing songs and stuff like that. What up, Sess? I was in punk band in high school, and then 2009. So a year after I graduated, I started a hip hop group called Critical Mass. It was awesome. It was me and my homie Brain Cell, and it was conscious hip hop. Like it was like all very woke, very like truth based, information based. Loved it. Did it from 2009 until forever. Been doing it.
What was your greatest achievement?
I would say probably opening up for Tech 9 out of state, because that was one where they actually like brought us in. It wasn't just like a local opener type thing. Like they actually brought us into Cleveland to open for Tech. That was really cool. Or from a personal standpoint, it was probably opening up for Insane Clown Posse, because even though I talk shit about the Juggalos just now, I was a huge Juggalo when I was a kid. Like I loved their music, dude. I loved it. I'm not a Juggalo now, I wouldn't say, but like I love their music. I think they put on the best live show in all of music. Throwing Dago in the crowd, Soda on the crowd, and everything. I think it's an experience that everybody has to like do once. So getting to actually open up for this band that I've been singing since I was 13 years old, and to be like not just opening for them, but like the last of the non-touring groups, like the headliner of the locals, was like so cool. Like I have a picture I posted up not too long ago. There was like 2,000, 2,500 people in the audience that night, and like since we were up right before the tour, like it was completely filled out. It wasn't like we were playing for an empty arena. It was so cool. That was probably my number one experience. Just getting to say that I did that, and then like being there and actually feeling that energy was incredible.
That has to be. For a minute, I thought you said gigolo. I'm like, hey, we don't judge if you are a gigolo, but we don't judge. We don't judge up here. We just spill that tea up in. So a few more questions here.
Yes.
So I'm a foodie. Y'all know I'm a foodie.
I'm the best cook. Listen.
Are you a good cook?
I wasn't
Are you a
kidding
good
about
cook?
my whole. Hey, what's up?
Oh,
I wasn't kidding about my hot sauce empire. I had a hot sauce empire, baby. It was 35 flavors, I believe, total of different hot sauces. 24 were my recipes, and then there was like 11 that were my partner's recipe. I sold, the most I ever sold was 200 bottles in 10 minutes. I broke Etsy one night. They thought that like I was a bot because of how much sauce was sold so fast that they actually shut my account down. These were all licensed sauces. So I did the one that broke the internet. The one that broke the internet was with Joe Bob Briggs. He's a horror movie host. He used to be on like AMC back in the day and stuff. Now he's on Shudder. He's a horror host on Shudder. But I did an officially licensed sauce with him that broke the internet in 10 minutes. I sold all 200 bottles. I did a couple with some old WWE guys like Zack Ryder. That one sold really well. But my main thing that I did was I would work with my friends from wrestling. So this was after I got hurt. After I hurt my knee and I couldn't really wrestle as much anymore, I still wanted to be involved in the shows, but I didn't know how to do it. So that's when I came up with the idea. If I take this hot sauce and I design it based on like either my friends like the colors that they wear, so I can like if they wear green, I make a green sauce for them, or where they're from, and like kind of like based off of, like the city that they're from, like what kind of flavors are around them and stuff like that. I could really come up with like something unique and something different for every person. So I started doing a deal where I would sell my bottles of sauce for $15. People actually spend $15, and I would give my whoever I put on the label, I'd give them $5. I'd keep $10. It cost me about $3 to make. So I was making a decent amount. At every wrestling show I would go to, I'd usually bring about 200 bottles, and I would sell out by the time that show was done.
Yep. And you actually sit there in the kitchen and
three awards.
Mixing
3 awards.
All these different sauces.
It was funny too because when we won the first award, like it was all out in California, and it was this place called Old Boney Mountain. They had a hot sauce festival, and so like we came in first place, or we came in third place. We came in third place, and the only people that beat us was the company that like makes the sauces for Hot Ones, like the actual like Hot Ones brand sauces, not like somebody who was on Hot Ones, like the actual like what they make for Hot Ones. They beat us, but everybody else, they were like, who the fuck are these guys? They were like seriously mad because these are like real like businesses with like mailing lists and like thousands and thousands of people buying it, and they just have me and my stoned ass from the kitchen getting their award. They were so mad at me.
Oh my goodness. So we touched on the food and everything. What would be your favorite dish to make?
Okay.
Your favorite food dish.
Because I want to say it would have to be something.
I have one other question after that.
So I'm gonna just say no. Fuck it. I'm just gonna keep it simple.
Okay.
We're going some veal piccata. We're going a little bit of lemon. We're going a little bit of garlic. We're gonna kind of pan fry it really quick. Throw on top of that shit just a little bit of the capers for that little saltiness on top. Hit it with some lemon on top. Boom, you're good. Get out of here, kid. You're done.
Boom, baby. I love it. I love it. All right. One of the final questions here. What would be your best advice to someone who wanting to get into the wrestling?
Don't.
Field. Well, best advice.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh my
If you
God,
really want to do it,
that
no.
was
Here's the truth. Here's the truth. If you want to get into wrestling, do
very
it,
good.
but go to a reputable school. Because there's so many different places around. There's so many different people that are going to say that they can train you. But if you're not going somewhere that's actually reputable and like has a pedigree of people who have made it to WWE, who've made it to AEW, stuff like that, you're wasting your time. You're spending all this money to learn from people who have never done anything in the business. Always remember that. Because unless you're going to somewhere that they have a pedigree, they're nobody. All they're doing is getting you to pay them. You are a mark to them. Do you know what a mark is? If you don't know what a mark is, back in the day, the carnival, okay? When people would walk in that they could get to spend money, they would put a little check mark in chalk on the back of them. That would be a mark. So people would know, the carnival barkers would know that's who you go to. You get your mark. That's what we call fans of wrestling, your marks. So these predatory wrestling schools will go out, they'll mark you, they'll get you to come in, and they'll have you sign your life away. There's some places that they'll make it so you can't compete within 10 miles of them unless they're getting half of what you're paid. There's some people that are going to take, if you ever do get to WWE, even if it's 20 years later, they still get a third of your cut of your salary. Like, they write these things in. You need to pay attention. You need to go somewhere reputable. And then once you're in there, don't stop. That's the next thing. Go on every drive. Do the drives. Anytime there's an open seat, anytime there's an opportunity, you bring a bag and you go. Because you might not be booked, but there's always going to be somebody who doesn't show up. There's always going to be somebody that gets hurt. There's always going to be somebody that needs to be filled in for. So if you have a bag, then the promoter says, I need somebody. There you are. Last piece of advice, make sure that you are helping to set up and tear down. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how long you've been in the business. Charles Robbins, he's the blonde ref for WWE. Wrestling fans will know him, Little Nate. He still tears down and sets up the ring crew himself. And he's been a ref for years, for like 30, 40 years. If he can do it, there's no reason you can't. All that you're doing by not is showing to everybody else that you're working with that you don't respect them and you don't care about anything. Because that's showing respect that you want to make sure the ring's set up right. It's showing respect that you want to make sure that everybody gets in there safely and gets out safely. So be sure, help set up, help tear down, do the drives, bring your bag, shut the fuck up and listen, and then you can maybe be RichSteve one day and you can go on the Alicia G's show and talk about how you had to read some of the Juggalo Festival or some shit.
So that's
Your choice, baby. I'll let you choose.
Gigolo or Juggalo? Oh, I love it. I love it. I want to say thank you for one of the most fun-filled, epic, just all around awesome spill of tea. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And everyone who joined in and watched, thank you for spilling tea with me, Alicia G. Each and every Thursday, tune in to see who that special guest is. And to wait and see until next time. Who's it going to be? Thank you so much, Rich. You were absolutely awesome and epic. And everyone who tuned in with them, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And happy holidays from my family to yours. Remember, guys, all social media, AliciaGWorld, my Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, AliciaGWorld. We say boom, boom, baby on 3. Ready?
Boom,
1,
baby. For the boom, boom. We're going.
3.
Later, y'all.
Boom, boom, baby.
Follow me. I'm okay. I promise.